today about coping with change. So this is something, change is something that us as adults sometimes struggle with, as well as our children. So thinking about the time of year right now, I thought coping with change and giving a few strategies to help it would be a good, a good thing to do. If you are a parent of a preteen or teen who's maybe anxious or stressed, then you can come to my free group in the comments, and there's also resources that will talk about, and you can go to the link in the comments as well. So coping with change, why, what do you, I'd love to hear from you. What do you feel when things change? How do you feel? Put that in the comments there. Right now, thinking about the time of year, some of you who may have teenagers, they may have just finished their exams. It has been a time of high pressure and stress. And then now, suddenly, exams have stopped. They may have lots of extra time on their hands. And they're like, what? What am I doing? This change from the high stressed environment to the kind of, right, I'm free to use my time in different ways can be quite a shock. Also, I know this week for my son is transition day on Friday. And so some of you either working in education or who have kids at school may be dealing with transition day. And that's the first the first entry to thinking about, oh, okay, actually I'm ending my year and I'm leaving my teacher if you're in primary school, and in secondary school, going to different teachers as well. And this, they are confronted with change. They're not always going to be in this year group with this teacher. Things are going to have to change. So this is why this video comes at this point. So firstly, dealing with change as parents and for our kids, we need to listen. We need to be there. We need to listen. We need to help our kids process their feelings about this change, because some people may like a change of teacher, or the change that school has finished, but others may find it a bit anxiety inducing. So therefore, just having that open conversation, starting that conversation now rather than waiting till like the last week of school, will be a really, really good idea. For us, when we're talking about feelings, we use the pads that I created through A Box Full of Joy for helping with expressing feelings. So for some of you, that may be really useful for your child, unpicking, okay, how do you feel about the change, having a different teacher next year, and then they can circle how they're feeling. And how they want to feel, in their new class, then circle that. And then what's something that we can do to help you feel happier about this change? And then you can kind of circle things, you can note some things down and things like that. So you can work through an action plan as well. Another pad that we have that we can, for slightly older children, maybe transitioning from year 6 to year 7, like a totally new school, is kind of thinking about what are they worried about going to a new school, and then how can they actually break it down? What are the things they can control about going to this new school, and what are the things that they can't control? And then making an action plan for the things that they can control. So yeah, especially those year 6s going into year 7, this is a time, going from primary to secondary school is a big change in structure, in place, and everything like that. So having that open conversation, starting that now, thinking about just even just before the transition days, and continuing that through the summer. So tip 1, open conversations, talking about your feelings. The tools that we have for A Box Full of Joy may be useful for that. Tip number 2, thinking about also, if your child is someone who likes the routine of things and then kind of finds it really tricky when summer comes and things are not in their normal routine, then actually what we do, that's what happens with our son. He really likes the routine of school, and actually it makes him a bit anxious and uncertain when things change and the summer holidays or the Easter holidays or any holidays come. So we write out the different days. He's able to cross it out. We make a plan together. We think about how we're going to spend our time, and he is involved. So we're empowering him to make, to be involved with that and make a routine there. So that is something that may help some kids to have that routine still. Obviously, it won't be the same routine, and different kids will like different things, but having some kind of set things may be helpful for some. So, doing a little, visual board and crossing off. Our son loves to cross off how many days it is left till a certain point, like going back to school or till the weekend, things like that. So some may enjoy having that routine and mapping it out with you. And then number 3 is thinking about being prepared, getting ahead of the game, thinking about actually, how is my child going to deal with this? You know your child the best, and every child is different. So thinking about being prepared, putting some of these strategies in place, but also positive. Change can be scary. We as adults sometimes don't like change, but actually making it into a positive and exciting experience. The summer holidays, even though it's different to the normal routine of life and school, actually there's lots of different exciting opportunities. So framing it in a positive light, as well as making sure you hear their feelings and are there for them, is really, really important. So there are a few things that can help you and help your child deal with change, and I hope they've been helpful. And like I said, some resources via the link in the comments, and feel free to join my group as well for other tips and support. And I hope transition days and things like that go well over the